Good morning, and thanks for joining us this Monday morning, February 1st, for live coverage of today's spacewalk aboard the International Space Station. I'm Leah Cheshire, and we are here live in Mission Control, Houston, at the NASA Johnson Space Center. This is a live feed from the space station's Quest airlock, where astronauts are continuing procedures to prepare themselves for the airlock for today's extravehicular activity, the 234th spacewalk in the history of station assembly and maintenance. Today's spacewalk is scheduled to last approximately 6.5 hours. Today's spacewalkers are NASA astronauts Michael Hopkins and Victor Glover. It's Hopkins' fourth spacewalk, and he'll be EV1, wearing red stripes around the legs on his spacesuit. And it's the second spacewalk for Victor Glover, who is EV2, or extravehicular crew member number 2, and will have no stripes at the bottom of his spacesuit. This is, as we mentioned, the 234th spacewalk in the history of station assembly and maintenance.
Translate to the 4 Alpha Integrated Equipment Assembly, where EV1 installs a scoop on the direct current switching unit, and EV2 stows a tool bag onto the adapter plate. The crew work together to remove the adapter plate from slot 2 and bring it to slot 6. To install the adapter plate, the EV crew drive 2 bolts on the adapter plate. EV1 drives 1 bolt on the lithium-ion battery in slot 5. EV2 uses a ratchet wrench to break torque on the direct current switching unit, and then resets the torque at a lower value with the pistol grip tool. EV2 connects the adapter plate to the lithium-ion battery, completing the circuit for the 4 Alpha 3 power channel. EV1 translates to the 4 Alpha Beta gimbal assembly. EV1 removes the H fixture in preparation for a future EVA. EV1 then returns to the airlock. EV2 previously returned to the airlock and now goes to the external stowage platform 2. EV2 removes a portable foot restraint and installs it onto the robotic arm, and then ingresses. The robotic arm takes EV2 to the camera port 3 worksite at the S1 lower outboard location. EV1 brings out the replacement camera group to the worksite. With both crew at the worksite, EV2 releases 3 bolts and removes the failed camera group. The crew swap out the failed and replacement units. Then EV2 installs and drives 3 bolts. EV1 then returns the failed unit to the airlock. The arm flies EV2 over to the US laboratory module and the camera port 13 worksite. EV2 installs an external high-definition camera onto the current camera group. EV2 mates connections and installs a strap before returning to the external platform 2. Since there are no further arm operations during this EVA, EV2 will egress the arm and remove the portable foot restraint. After EV1 stows the failed camera group 3 in the airlock, he retrieves the new wrist vision equipment box and translates along the US laboratory in Node 2 module, then under the Japanese experiment module to the exposed facility. At the base of the Japanese robotic arm, EV1 stows a tool bag carrying the wrist vision equipment. This box provides a camera view and light to support arm operations. EV1 installs a scoop, which is a handling aid, onto the failed wrist vision equipment box, and then removes the box. Then installs the new wrist vision equipment box and removes the handling aid from that and stows that in the tool bag. EV1 retrieves the tool bag with the failed wrist vision equipment and then retraces his path along the Japanese experiment module, the Node 2 module, to the US laboratory. EV1 goes to the base of the camera port 13 stanchion and will mate the Ethernet cable to the wireless access port cable of the newly installed external high-definition camera. Both crew return to the airlock. EV2 ingresses, followed by EV1, completing the planned test for ISS upgrades to EVA.
The suit has 6 layers and provides atmospheric containment, thermal insulation, cooling, solar radiation protection, and micrometeoroid or orbital debris protection. Because the space station orbits the Earth about 16 times a day, there are points throughout the spacewalk when the astronauts are in direct light of the sun, and other times when they are in complete darkness. These cooling and thermal units help regulate their temperature as their environment fluctuates from one extreme to another. Hopkins and Glover now both inside the crew lock portion of the Quest airlock.
All right, Farmer. Ike, face each other. Anchor hooked. It's locked on the forward starboard airlock circular E-ring.
Copy that. You said gates closed and hook locked on that?
Gate closed. It's locked, black on black. It's a good full test.
Copy, good words. And then Hoppers is going over on handrail 554.
Work. And on the port side of that, correct?
Stay firm, good words.
The first astronaut out of the hatch today is NASA's Victor Glover. You can tell him apart because he has no red stripes on his spacesuit. He is EV2 or extravehicular crew member 2 for today.
Upper copies, it is complete. And Ike, the waist airlock, waist tether, the large hook is going on that handrail. Copy that.
And on to the PGT.
Work.
And Hopper copy the scoop installed. You can go ahead and translate over to the battery and get ready to drive that bolt.
E1.
So Hopper, when we get over there, it'll be it's slot 5, and we're going to be driving H1 when you're ready for PGT setting.
Okay, I'm at slot 5. Let me get all down and give you a call. All right, Farmer. I've got the 9-inch on the PGT with a good full test.
Copy that. Good words. You can retrieve that PGT, and we're looking for Alpha 7 counterclockwise 2, and that's for you, Ike.
Copy. Farmer, I got my green hook.
Copy that. All right, Ike, we see at the APFR there, you're going to retrieve the APFR and verify that the wire tie is installed and intact on the base of the ingress aid.
Wire tie is installed and intact. Base of the ingress aid. Worked.
Coming up on an hour and 20 minutes into today's spacewalk, that's NASA astronaut Victor Glover on your screen, preparing to install and ingress the APFR, or the articulating portable foot restraint, on the end of the Canadarm 2.
How far Actually, that's stop motion.
Stop motion.
It's good.
Okay, copy. This is GCA complete. Standby. Brakes are on.
Copy, brakes
Go
on.
for the APF for install and the egress. The arm is coming, so a half meter later.
Copy.
Arm is in motion.
Split motion. Continue.
Continue. Just more.
Okay, stop motion, GCA complete.
Copy. Stop motion. GCA complete. Brakes on. Go for APF or ingress.
Copy, go for ingress. Thank you.
Okay, Ike, put your waist tether on the ingress aid or on the APFR, and then you can go ahead and ingress.
I'm going to put it on the ingress aid. And thanks for the reminder. Okay, Palmer, I have the camera group on my CRT. Check my safer handles, filter down, and closing the thermal cover.
Okay, copy that. That thing's pretty big. watching that thing come through the hatchway.
It is. Thermal cover is closed.
Copy that. We get a quick glove and hap check from you, and then you can translate up to the CP3 worksite.
Okay, half is dry for EV1. And no change to the gloves other than the smudges have kind of already worn off.
Copy that. Thanks.
In the distance, you can now see the moon setting behind the Earth's limb. NASA astronaut Victor Glover in the foreground.
Nader handrail path along the truss.
EV1.
And just prior to that, you could hear NASA astronaut Mike Hopkins, who is now departing the airlock, give a good glove and hap check. HAP stands for Helmet Absorption Pad. The astronauts check that to ensure nothing is leaking inside the suit and that everything remains dry. Astronauts also regularly check their gloves for any damage during the spacewalk.
Arms in motion, station forward.
Motion.
Coming up on 1 hour and 30 minutes into today's spacewalk, which began at 6:56 a.m. Central Time, you can see the Canadarm 2 moving slightly, taking Victor Glover to the next work site. The next task for Glover and Hopkins will be to remove and replace a camera group on the starboard truss.
Motion.
Okay, good motion.
The new HD camera being installed will replace the pink-hued camera you might be familiar with, whose color wheel has failed and may be available for public views in future broadcasts.
5 minutes.
Copy. I am on it right now.
And I call the motion, that's 5-minute jogcast to CP3.
Motion.
Copy, good loss.
Okay, Ike, while you're flying, we got a couple things for you when you're ready.
Ready.
Okay, you're going to retrieve your PGT and install the 9-inch rigid socket that is in the CP13 bag.
Work.
Astronauts Kate Rubins and Soichi Noguchi continue maneuvering the Canadarm 2 with Victor Glover aboard, and below him is the Atlantic Ocean, 260 statute miles below to be exact. We have some questions coming in online, so if you're watching, you can use the hashtag AskNASA on Twitter, and we'll do our best to answer them. The first comes from Bob, who wants to know what is Hopper or Ike during the spacewalk. You'll hear the names Hopper, Ike, and Farmer throughout the day. Those are all call signs for 3 of the voices that you hear. You're looking at Ike right now. That's the call sign for NASA astronaut Victor Glover. Hopper is the call sign for Mike Hopkins, and Farmer is the call sign for Bob Hines, who is here on the ground serving as the ground IV.
9-inch rigid is on the PGT. Full test.
And can you guys repeat your last, please?
The 9-inch rigid is on the PGT with a good full test.
Okay, copy that. And then you're going to configure the PGT Bravo 1 counterclockwise 2, and then you can put it back on your swing arm.
Work. Bravo 1 counterclockwise 2 set.
Okay, copy that, Ike. You can put that back on your swing arm, and then you're going to retrieve the CP3 hardware out of the bag, and then you can close the bag back up.
Good work.
And Ike, we're good to continue with that, and then over to you and Soichi to bring the arm to the R&R position.
And 2 copies, we are ready.
All right, so EG, you guys have to go to maneuver room.
Copy, Ike. We are go for GCA to the CP3 camera group are in our position.
Go for GCA.
Copy, go for GCA. Motion, motion.
Okay, that looks good right about there. Start motion.
Start motion, if that's the population.
Okay, GCA complete.
Bye. Okay, SSR's brakes on.
Three brakes on.
Okay, Ike, first thing at the work site, verify that the camera is in the stowed position and the lens hood is square to the camera.
Stowed and square.
Copy, then you're going to install the round scoop onto the failed camera group. Remember, we want the handle at the 10 o'clock position where 12 o'clock is defined by the tether point.
Install 10 o'clock. Sure. Okay, round scoop is locked on.
Copy that. Install the HD window cover and the or on the failed CP3 camera.
A window cover is installed.
Copy the window cover. Just confirm the quarter turn fasteners are installed and you got a full test on it.
Good full test. Quarter turn fasteners are engaged. ×2.
Copy. You can take that RET and series in and hand it off to Hopper. Hopper, you're going to stow that RET on handrail 3238. Okay, copy that, Hopper. You can go ahead then and make sure the thermal hatch or the thermal cover is closed, and then translate out to the gem. Going across the lab, you're going to drop your green hook on JPM handrail 1131.
131.
As Mike Hopkins makes his way out to the gem, or the Japanese experiment module.
Is good.
Good.
Yeah, it's Space Ground 1. We got a good ping test. You go to continue.
And if you need to, you can slide the MLI down.
Roger, inward. Okay, Farmer, I've got the camera out. The lever is flush.
Copy that, Ike. You can position the HD camera for installation. Okay, we're good, Ike. You're clear to proceed then.
Okay, so yeah, we'll do that at the end then. So I'm ready to go to the cables, I believe it is.
Okay, copy that. Stand by 1 second. Hopper, what was your last?
Didn't have a last.
Okay, copy that. When you're ready, then we're going to be driving the two, both bolts, the Bravo 2, clockwise 2, and we're looking 12.5 to 15 turns all the way to torque.
Bravo 2, clockwise 2, 12 to 15 turns to torque. Copy. Can I maneuver while you're driving? Absolutely. Hey, Kate, you have to go to maneuver. Reaching Kate.
Sorry, Ike, say again?
You have to go to maneuver.
And we're not seeing a maneuver. See, are you going to get off the arm right now?
Negative.
Okay, copy. Understand your go-to maneuver. Just check your tools and tethers are clear.
Clear.
This view of now.
Ike, buddy next to the buddy down, away from the structure, 1 meter.
Motion, continue.
Continue.
Motion.
We're now 3 hours into today's spacewalk, which began at 6:56 a.m. Central Time this morning. The astronauts Mike Hopkins and Victor Glover are working separately right now, with Victor Glover on your screen at the end of the Canadarm 2. Glover is currently working outside the Destiny laboratory, replacing an aging camera with an enhanced HD camera. Meanwhile, Hopkins is outside the Japanese experiment module, replacing components for that robotic arms camera system. So far today, the astronauts completed battery work that began in January 2017, installing the final lithium-ion battery and final adapter plate, routing its power through the station. They also installed the final bolt in the direct current switching unit. And Mike Hopkins removed an H fixture, preparing for future power upgrades to the station. The team also just installed a CP3 camera on the starboard truss at the S1 lower outboard location, replacing a camera that was formerly magenta in color. And that little patch of Earth you see below is 260 miles below the space station, and that is Columbia.
And so I took that off and put it in my trash bag. And that was what they saw.
Okay, that sounds good. As long as there's no more tape sitting out there, that's probably what we saw.
I'll double check, but I think that might be what you guys saw, but I'll double check.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
This view from the helmet camera of Mike Hopkins stowing the failed camera that was on the Japanese experiment module robotic manipulator system, the robotic arm.
We had a good checkout on CP3, so nice work on that.
This helmet camera view from Victor Glover on the Canadarm 2, and this one inside the International Space Station. You can see Kate Rubins, and to her left, Soichi Noguchi. They are controlling the Canadarm 2 from inside, using robotic controls to maneuver the robotic arm and moving Victor Glover into place to complete his tasks on today's spacewalk.
Okay. Got it, Harper, Secure Cast. Secure Cast? Okay, thanks. All right, Farm, I took a double look. I don't see any F's on tape. Again, I think it was just this motion.
Mike Hopkins is making his way to the CP13 worksite. That is the camera being replacing an aging camera on the Destiny laboratory. Victor Glover, you can see him on the end of the Canadarm 2 being maneuvered into place for his next steps at the same worksite.
You guys got a night pass coming up in a couple minutes, and we also have a brief LOS coming up in 2 minutes.
Thank you. Okay, I come at my green hook. Awesome. Okay, Farmer, can you give me some words on the strap? I may be able to install it from right here.
Yeah, so as the strap comes down, the first step is placing the side of the strap that has the quarter turn fasteners over the tether point on the electronics box.
Okay. And which way does that quarter turn fastener face? I think I may need to put it on the other side.
So the Velcro that's on the strap points towards the stanchion.
Velcro toward the stanchion.
And then once you have that on there with the Velcro toward the stanchion.
Which side should the French hook be on? Should the French hook be on the side, the neighbor side or the Zenith side?
The French hook should be on the nadir side.
Nadir side, okay.
Station Zenith.
Hopkins is making his way back to the airlock to retrieve the tools he needs to remove another H fixture, this one on the S4 truss.
Station aft.
Yep, I like it.
How is motion?
That'd be good motion, sir. That's good motion.
The motion, about 1 meter to go.
Victor Glover is still in the Canadarm 2, moving back to position. He's been tasked with relocating the APFR, or the articulating portable foot restraint, which he is currently standing in, and preparing that for an upcoming spacewalk.
Copy, continue. And this is published.
And that's perfect. GCA complete.
Copy.
And so I'm going to get out here. I'll start my face tether swap, and then I may have you go a little more Zenith for the removal.
Currently, the brakes on.
Copy, brakes on. G, copy my last.
Copy.
And just a quick verification pull test on the socket swap that you completed.
Full test on both the socket caddy and the PGT. With a 7/16 swabble on my PGT.
Copy, good words.
We're now 4 hours into today's spacewalk, and the astronauts have completed all of their major tasks.
All right, Hopper, we see you moving.
Come up to see us first. Visual. One.
And Hopper, just heads up for you, when you get out to the Sarge, we're going to be looking, the 3 Alpha BGA is going to be nadir.
You made it. Thank you. All right, Farmer, happy dry. And gloves, only change is a little bit of that black stuff has rubbed away, so they're still looking good. Working on safer handles now.
Copy that.
You just heard NASA astronaut Victor Glover in this view from his helmet camera as he's at the airlock preparing for his next task, setting up an APFR and articulating portable foot restraint for a future spacewalk. He gave a glove and HAP check. HAP stands for Helmet Absorption Pad, and the astronauts regularly check this to make sure there's no fluid in their helmet. Additionally, as you can see, a spacewalk is a completely hands-on task, and so the astronauts conduct regular glove checks to ensure there are no tears in their gloves and they can proceed with the spacewalk.
Okay, you're going to translate to the WIF-X over on the starboard side of ESP2, WIF-3, and put it on your BRT.
On the way. All right, I'm headed up to Cedar Spur. Roger.
And copy that, Ike. And obviously, we're us doing the get-aheads. Please keep an eye on the safety tethers as we move starboard.
Hoppers and I just got acquainted. It's good. We're clear. So, Farmer.
Yes, sir.
I can't get my fingers in there to remove one and
Copy that. Stand by one.
yeah, it's just foot fingers, but it's hard to get your finger inside these. If you remember on that H fixture, bolts go down into a. Okay, I did get one. I'm working 3 now.
And when they're released, they should pop out. So I don't know if you can tell that at all while you're messing with it.
Okay, all 4 are released.
Copy, all 4 are released. So you can retrieve the wedge assembly if that's what you want to do again, and put them in the H fixture channel.
Yes, that's what I want to do.
This view from Mike Hopkins' helmet camera. He just removed the H fixture that was removed from the station earlier, and he's now working to remove the second of the day, a get-ahead task since all others have been completed. 4 hours and 25 minutes into today's spacewalk, Mike Hopkins has successfully removed another H fixture.
D-pad, and then you can just leave that out. We're going to do the next task is a photo task, and then we'll do the inventory after that.
Roger. Okay, Farmer, clock to 12. Good pull and twist test, black on black.
Good words.
Hello, Sierra, Sierra Golf 3.
Affirm.
All right, Farmer. I need to go ahead and do some of this inventory and get some of this stuff back in the bag.
Okay, that's fine. We're ready to copy.
Okay. All right. I've got a single red to an adjustable to a hammer and a, I can't remember, PRS. What is it, PRS?
EGRESS, Affirm. Pin tool and sheath.
Yeah. Then I got an integral to a pry bar, and that's going. The integral's going to adjustable to the pry bar, and then the other end is empty. And that one. I've got an adjustable, a second adjustable that has an H fixture. Got a small rep with the camera. Got an integral with the wedge assembly. I've got an integral with the adjustable and 2 pliers. I've got a small with an adjustable and a combo wrench and an H fixture. And I think that's it. And then on the outside, I've got an adjustable.
Yeah, that's a good inventory offer.
Okay, Farmer 12 Sierra, Sierra Golf 3, and that APFR has a really sticky pitch knob.
Okay, copy that. Confirm that it you were able to get it to pop back out after you set.
Confirm. Roger.
Okay, Ike, looks like you slid, I see the OI whiff on there. We're looking for whiff 6. You're going to slide it onto the fitting and then verify that the 2 tabs are down and look for a pull test.
Work.
The team also completed Japanese robotic arm camera replacement and installed an upgraded camera outside the U.S. lab, which Bob Hines just relayed has checked out well and performing as expected. This view from Mike Hopkins' helmet camera, giving you a glimpse at those batteries aboard the International Space Station.
How you guys are feeling?
Super. Hi, Navy. Means good. Okay, Farmer, the gloves still look good on my left and pinky. The RTV, the bottom digit, a little bit of peeling, the same, about an 1/8 of an inch, maybe a 1/4 of an inch, and an 1/8 of an inch worth of it peeling up. Most of it's still connected, and the fabric underneath is good to go. Other than that, no change. My half is dry.
Copy that. And that left finger, is that changed from earlier, or is that pretty much the same?
The earlier one was my right pinky. Same place on my right and left pinky. The earlier one was right. This one is left.
Copy that. Good words. All right, Ike, next task for you, we're going to do the magnetic plate R&R at the airlock there. So you can head back, open the thermal cover, and you're going to retrieve the crew lock bag for the airlock task.
Me too. Okay, Farmer Ike, I'm in board of the Sarge. And I will grab
Copy
my
that.
H tether anchor bolt hook off the forward starboard. Roger. And whenever you're ready, I will come on in. Come on in, Ike. Well. Okay.
And copper, we're traveling the ETBCG.
Yep, I think that's a good plan.
NASA astronaut Kate Rubins now working to move Mike Hopkins, our EV-1, or extravehicular crew member 1, into the equipment lock portion of the Quest airlock, where she and Suichi Noguchi will help him doff his spacesuit.
Yeah, ED2 Hopper, I'm going to take your safer from here. So can you grab onto the 100? Yeah, that's good.
Airlock Houston, space to ground 1, crew, EV crew is no longer hot mic.
Now that both astronauts have their helmets removed, we are going to wrap up today's coverage. Thanks so much for tuning in to the Spacewalk today, where Mike Hopkins and Victor Glover completed the final upgrades of the battery power system, as well as installed 3 new cameras. We are looking forward to 2 other EVAs or spacewalks in the future, and we hope you'll join us for those as well, so stay tuned for more information. But for today, that's it for us. This is Mission Control Houston.